Alright guys, I'm back with another one of these videos. So again, you've probably read the title and let's begin the story. Alright, so let's name the kid who got beaten up John. Okay, at this time he was in 10th grade. He was a senior, but he was also pretty weak. Then we'll name the other guy Jake, the guy who did the beating. He was actually in 8th grade, which makes the story even more weird and jarring. But to be fair, Jake did work out. He did play basketball, he did all that stuff. So he was pretty physically strong. He also did live in America before coming to my country, so that's going to be pretty important in the story later on. Alright, so John, the 10th grader, is a pretty spoiled kid. Okay, let's say that. And this John guy, usually he talks a lot of shit about other people and it pisses people off. John is also really rich, like really insanely rich, to the point where he has his own credit card and a bunch of other absolutely premium stuff. He is loaded. So this story starts on Instagram, I think, or maybe in real life. I'm not really that sure. He says to Jake a lot of stuff about his mom or his family, but it was pretty inappropriate. And honestly, this is some like it was stuff you probably should not say to someone unless you want them to get really, really angry at you. I'm not gonna say it, but I think you can tell. But yeah, also John is a D1 rage baiter. He is literally one of the most punchable people I know. So before John did say stuff about Jake's family, they did have some beef in the past, but nothing too serious, like no physical contact or any sort of fight. It was mostly just verbal abuse, calling each other names, swears, and stuff. Alright, so when this happens, when John says this stuff about Jake's family, Jake is pissed, like hella pissed. And so he decides to get his gang of friends or whatever together. Keep in mind, they are in 8th grade, so it's not an actual gang. They're not that tough. So it's three kids, right? The other two kids don't really matter to the story, so we'll just call them Jake's friends. Now they devise a plan, right? What they want to do was to bring John to the boys' washroom and fight him in there. So they did this a few days after they schemed or planned or plotted, whatever synonym you want to use. During this fight, since obviously Jake had the most beef with John, although as a collective group they all hated John, Jake's friends pinned John down to the wall and Jake just started going at his ass, like literally beating the shit out of John. And their plan did originally work. No teacher caught them in the bathroom, in the actual restroom where this happened. But then John decided to snitch on them. Now, I'm not saying this is something you should just keep hidden or say, okay, it's not worth it because, you're annoying. But if this happened to me, I would generally try to tell a teacher or maybe some of my friends. I wouldn't really try to get revenge. I would actually try to resolve this, okay? Maybe not to tell your teacher, but just resolve it in a way that is not physical, okay? To be fair, John was kind of in the wrong here, as in for reporting this, because obviously Jake could have reported this, but again, Jake is a very physical guy, okay, very aggravated guy. Not all the time, sometimes he is. Okay, so John was kind of in the wrong here. So a few days after the incident, Jake and his friends get called to the principal's office. And originally, they're all suspended. And Jake, being the person who threw the punches at him, obviously got suspended for the longest time, for about 3 months. So Jake just thinks that he's only going to spend it for like 3 months. His parents are going to be mad at him. But he was going to be fine in the long run, right? And boy, was he wrong. After the whole thing, Jake had to go back to the principal's office to meet John once again. And then it turns out John actually asked his parents to file a federal investigation report for aggravated assault against Jake. This actually shocked Jake. Now keep in mind that a federal investigation report can lead to a lawsuit, obviously a criminal lawsuit, and him and his parents possibly getting sued, or even Jake ending up in juvie. And now Jake and his parents had two options, I believe. Number one was to try and defend Jake against the report, prove that it wasn't his fault, he was innocent, as they tried to hire a lawyer, get mixed up in a bunch of legal business, etc. And if they lost the case, Jake would have to go to juvie. Or number two was to simply leave the country and go back to America, which at the beginning of the story was Jake's home place, I guess. And yeah, this is a very easy decision. I think even I would have made the same decision. It's literally like a $5 million of cancer question. So they ended up leaving the country, and I don't really talk to Jake much anymore. Like, I got to know this because of him, but I don't really talk to him anymore. I don't know if he keeps contact with his friends from his grade, but this is a pretty messed up story. Alright, guys, if you want to take away something, take away one moral. Do not beat up spoiled kids. Do not beat up anybody. Spread love. Spread peace. Just do anything else, because honestly, you're gonna get in trouble. Even if you think inflicting pain on others is what's going to bring you joy, in the end you'll probably get in trouble as well, whether it's against the law or your school or whatever. Okay? And please do not say anything about anybody's family. It's the lowest kind of insult. Alright. Anyways, that's all for today. Bye. Thanks for watching. Hi, this is my 8th time recording this, so if you like the video, do something to say that you like the video, like subscribe, comment, whatever, okay? Please. The algorithm is actually killing me, and thanks for that. Bye.